Hi, in this video we are going to learn the anatomy of GIT and accessory organs of digestion. The easiest way to understand the digestive system is to divide its organs into two main categories. The first group is the organs that make up the alimentary canal. The accessory digestive organs comprises the second group and are critical for the breakdown of food and the assimilation of its nutrients into the body. Accessory digestive organs, despite their name, they are crucial for the functioning of digestive system. GIT is an one-way tube that begins at the mouth and terminates at the anus. In between these 2 points, the canal is modified as pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small and large intestine to fit the functional needs of the body. Accessory digestive organs that helps in digestion but are not part of the digestive tract. These are salivary glands, liver, gallbladder and pancreas. So, they aid in the breakdown of food. So, within the mouth, teeth and the tongue begins the mechanical digestion, whereas salivary gland begins the chemical digestion. Once the partially digested food enters the small intestine, gallbladder, liver and pancreas releases the secretions such as bile and enzyme essential for the digestion to continue. Gastrointestinal tract can be divided into two parts, that is upper GIT and lower GIT. The upper gastrointestinal tract consists of esophagus, stomach and duodenum. Esophagus is the fibromuscular tube that passes the food through peristaltic contraction from the esophagus to the stomach. Stomach is the muscular sac located on the left side of the upper abdomen. The stomach receives food from the esophagus. As the food reaches at the end of the esophagus, it enters the stomach through a muscular wall called as lower esophageal sphincter. Stomach secretes acid and enzymes that digest food. The next part of the upper gastrointestinal tract is duodenum, which is the first segment. Duodenum is the first section of the small intestine. It receives acidic chyme from the stomach, and duodenum completes large part of the process of chemical digestion, liberating small molecules from the ingested food. Here, the digestive enzymes from the pancreas and the gallbladder mix together. The enzymes break down the protein and carbohydrates, whereas the bile emulsifies the fat into micelles. The duodenum contains Brunner's gland that produces bicarbonate, and pancreatic juice also contains bicarbonate to neutralize the hydrochloric acid present in the chyme. So, next part is lower gastrointestinal tract. Lower gastrointestinal tract includes most of the small intestine and all of the large intestine. So, small intestine, jejunum and ileum are the part of lower gastrointestinal tract. Jejunum is the midsection of the small intestine connecting the duodenum to the ileum. It contains villi to increases the surface area of this part of the GIT, and ileum is the last segment of the small intestine. This also has villus and there is no clear border between jejunum and ileum. Histologically, the jejunum differs from the rest of the small intestine by the absence of Bernard's gland, which are present in the duodenum, and Peyer's patches, which are present in the ileum. The vast surface area is the prerequisite for the optimal absorption of nutrients, so that the wall of jejunum contain circular folds, villi and microvilli. So, these features are also found, though with a slight difference, in the ileum. The large intestine is wider and shorter than the small intestine. So, cecum is the first segment of the large intestine and it has vermiform appendix attached to it. The colon is the next part of the large intestine, which is the largest part. So, it includes ascending, transverse colon and descending colon. And the next part is rectum, which is the terminal segment of the digestive system, in which feces accumulates just prior to the discharge. Anus is the terminal opening of the anal canal, the portion of the digestive tract through which fecal material is excreted. So, there are four major functions of the large intestine. They are recovery of water and electrolytes. The second one is the formation and storage of feces. The third function is fermentation of some of the indigestible food matters by bacteria. And the last function is the production and absorption of vitamins like vitamin B12 and vitamin K. Accessory organs of the digestion are the glands and the organs that facilitate the process of digestion. Food that is chewed in the oral cavity, then swallowed ends up in the stomach, where it is further digested, so its nutrients can be absorbed in the small intestine. The salivary gland, liver, gallbladder and the pancreas aids the process of ingestion, digestion and absorption. These accessory glands or organs of the digestion play a key role in the digestive process. Each of these organ either secretes or stores substances that passes through the ducts into the alimentary canal. So, salivary gland, which helps in the moisturing of the food and begins the chemical digestion. So, there are six salivary glands located around the oral cavity, which secretes saliva. The saliva is about 99% water, but also contains enzymes and proteins that lubricate the oral cavity and begins the chemical digestion of the food. There are three pairs of the salivary glands. These are parotid, submandibular, sublingual gland, and there are two ducts which are present on either side of the oral cavity. So, what are the functions of saliva? It moistens and lubricates the food during mastication and swallowing. It dissolves certain molecules so that food can be tasted. It begins the chemical digestion of starch through the action of amylase, salivary amylase, which break down these polysaccharides into disaccharides. Lingual lipases digest some of the ingested triglycerides to monoglycerides and fatty acids. Liver is the second largest organ in the body and it continuously produces bile. This yellowish brown fluid aids chemical digestion by emulsifying fat in the duodenum. Liver has several functions. It acts as a mechanical filter by filtering blood that travels from the intestinal system. It detoxifies several metabolites including the breakdown of bilirubin and estrogen. In addition, it has synthetic function producing albumin and blood clotting factor. However, its main role in digestion are in the production of bile and metabolism of nutrients. All the nutrients absorbed in the intestine passes through the liver and are processed before traveling to the rest of the body. Gallbladder is a hollow, pear-shaped structure that sits in the depression of the posterior surface of the liver's right lobe. It contains fundus, body and the neck. It empties via cystic duct into the biliary duct system. The main function of the gallbladder is to store and concentrate the bile. The bile produced by the liver, but it is stored in the gallbladder until it is needed. Bile is released from the gallbladder by the contraction of the muscles in response to the hormone signals from the duodenum which is present in the food. Pancreas is the lobular pinkish grey organ that lies behind the stomach. Its head communicates with the duodenum and its tail extends towards the spleen. The organ is approximately 15 cm in length with a long slender body connecting head and tail segment. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, a mixture of digestive enzymes, water, bicarbonate, those are the buffers, and electrolytes. So, pancreatic juice drains through a main pancreatic duct into the common bile duct and then into the small intestine, that is duodenum. There it buffers stomach acids and break down protein, fats and carbohydrates. So, pancreatic enzymes include carbohydrases, lipases, nucleases and proteolytic enzymes that breaks down different components of the food. These are secreted in an inactive form to prevent the digestion of pancreas itself. So, these enzymes becomes active once they reach the duodenum. For example, trypsin is synthesized as trypsinogen and it gets converted into trypsin in the duodenum. So, this is all about anatomy of GIT and the accessory organs of digestion. Thank you.